Hey there! So today we have another review. This is a beer from Sierra Nevada. This is their Flipside. It is back. I had a pint of it at the Grand Delancey. Was blown away. Was so excited to review this for you guys. Unfortunately, it is not the freshest. 3 months in, but the other bottles I've tried so far have been absolutely fantastic. So it goes to Sierra Nevada's quality control, and also huge shout out to Publix, who gets to distributor to Publix, who I guess ideally Publix keep the cold. There's no way Publix did not keep it cold. There's no way 3 months in that we'd have a quality product. Well, those were quality products. Ideally, this is too. So this beer is certainly darker than the Ruthless Rye. Flipside IPA is a red IPA, so I assume a lot of crystal malt in here. They go huge citrusy and tropical with Simcoe, Citra, Centennial, and I believe they actually went with like Idaho 7 and some other hops when I reviewed it years ago, but they've obviously readjusted the recipe to. Yeah, these are hops are available when I reviewed when I first had this beer. Man, we're talking about like I think I first had this beer in like 2012, and Citra was actually pretty new back then. It's pretty crazy. Citra was pretty new in 2012, but now it's obviously a huge hop. One of the biggest hops actually being produced in America. So the beer is actually now, sadly, instead of a Ruthless Rye was like a light amber color, this is a solid medium to deep amber color. You can't really see through it, so there's like a little bit of chill haze or something going on. Yeah, this is a hazy beer. Definitely a light tan head on that. On the nose, it's a little bit piney, a little bit malty, so you get a little bit of this kind of sweet caramel thing, a little bit like what do you call it? Like just caramel rich sweetness, like like caramel sauce. But then on top of that, there's a little bit of red fruit. I get this kind of like oh, that's the great example, candied apples, like Halloween candied apples being one. Oh, candied, but maybe a little bit of caramel apple too, but also that like crunchy, like sugar crust that they make for the candied apples versus caramel apples, right? A lot of that going on. Sweet stewed apples, a little bit tropical. Um, Sweet orange character, a little bit of stewed peaches, a little bit of tropical going on, a little bit of dankness, a little bit of marijuana. Cheers. Okay, there you go. So the one that I had at the Grand Delancey was mind-blowingly good. Like that was juicy. Like for beer that comes in a like solid medium to deep amber color, it was juicy. Like it was how about this? Let me tell you, I had a Hill Farm Said Susan right beforehand. It was juicier than that beer, which is crazy. But it's very, very good. Um, it is solidly, I guess, a red IPA. I mean, you definitely get the crystal malt up front. Has lingering kind of like I don't want to go as far as like caramel, like as far as like butterscotch and caramel. Like those are rich, buttery, like intense characteristics that are really sort of remind me of more like a barley wine or something. Here it's more like again that kind of like hard sugary candy kind of sweetness, right? As you wait, there's more of that kind of like weed, piney, marijuana thing, which is quite nice, a little bit of resiny. Um, I feel like this one has the most amount of bass tone out of like the Hop Hunter and the Ruthless Rye. There's a really nice soily bass tone. Um, has that kind of like soil, weed character, blah blah. When fresh, it really pops with like mango and pineapple, which is so fun on top of a like really nice amber beer. Here's a little bit more, definitely way more subdued. Instead, I lean a little bit of that and then sort of a light kind of grapefruity character, yellow grapefruit on here. Mm. Hmm. And then I just really enjoyed the complexity. It's a whole ride on this beer. It's sweet impression wise. The beer is actually not that sweet, but it's an impression of sweetness. And there's red fruit, apples, um, those crunchy kind of like not Bing cherries, but the crunchy like they're cherries that like have like a pinkish reddish hue to them. Whatever, they have a little crunch to them. Um, they're pitted, fresh cherries, stewed apples, a little bit of mango, a little bit of pineapple, weed, soil, pine resin bitterness, just like complexity, just like rides and rides and rides. excuse me, for a beer with Simcoe Citrus Centennial, like wow, they really extracted a lot of the complexity of these hops. Like these three combination wise, sometimes in like hazy beers and a lot of beers I've tried, like just sort of meld in, and like one shows up and blah blah blah. The ability of the complexity and the ability of this beer to offer so much complexity and a roller coaster ride is just like really interesting. Along with the malt, the malt is so important in this. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna talk about malt, yeah. Just a really nice kind of like, yeah, oh, we did talk about a little bit of that candied apple sweetness, a little bit of light toasted bread character. The candied sugar thing's really nice. All that hop complexity, the bitterness. This one actually might. This might be the bitterest of the bunch. I mean, obviously the pills don't really count, but including the Bootless Rye and the Hop Hunter. Mm, this beer is awesome. Yeah. Okay. So the Hop Hunter has like sort of modern West Coast kind of vibe to it. The Ruthless Rye has a kind of like, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale Plus kind of thing. This is its own kind of animal. It's sort of a, I'm trying to think of like what beer can really remind me of. And the problem is, they don't produce amber beers. Like, when was the last time I had a Hop Rod Rye from Bear Republic or a Founder's Red Rye or like, what? Like Boont Amber Ale doesn't really taste like this from Anderson Valley, right? Like there's aren't this many like dark amberish kind of beers. This beer is fire. It gets a solid 96. Like it's a world class beer, and if I had a fresher, I think it'd just like do oomph more. But I just love the complexities of this beer, the malt complexity, and the hops. Just like they go everywhere, right? They go to fruity, they go tropical, they go citrus, they go tropical, they go to soil, they go to dank, they go to pine, they go resin. Like you get a whole gamut of what's available on the palate, and this is just absolutely fire. So highly recommend it. This is awesome. Get it fresh. If I can find this fresher, I'm gonna try because this might be one of my favorite beers of all year. We will see. Until next time. Cheers. Later.